790 and 1420 in the Canal Zone. This is SCN Radio.
SCN Radio in the Canal Zone.
A service of SCN Radio, 790 and 1420 in the Canal Zone.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Happy hour at the Balboa Yacht Club. March 1st. Another month in 2024. And joining us tonight is our good buddy, Ricky Arroyo, all the way from the West Coast. Ricky, how are you?
Pretty good, guys.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me on again. Appreciate it.
Of course. You know, you're part of the Zonian family, La Familia here. And so, you know, we want to keep reminiscing and plus you're, you know, bringing your crowd there as well. You know, I'll bring my class of 86 crowd. You graduated what, 81, 82?
81.
Okay. Right on. So
yeah,
close to that. So this week we wanted to talk about where we lived, right? Growing up. And I remember, you know, my earliest memories growing up were on Barnaby Street. You know, I faintly remember Coca Solo. That's where it all started for me. But I think I was maybe even less than a year old. So I honestly don't remember anything about that. But Barnaby Street, you know, lived right there on the last house, right before the elementary school.
I remember.
The Lucas lived right behind us.
That's correct.
You know, and you guys were where? You were.
We were on El Prado,
right?
Like the De Lucas, and there was one house in between us.
Okay, so we were on that same little block there because there was that one road that went in between us.
Correct. So it was like a triangle where you guys were. It was more triangle.
So you guys were on the corner.
Correct.
You were on the corner, De Lucas on the corner, we were on a corner.
Right,
yes,
right.
That's right.
I forgot the name of the street, the cross street that would take you right to the back of
and you know, I did find a map, and I didn't have it pulled up tonight that I was using for these promos, and I do remember that street. In fact, I remember the Coca-Cola truck was delivering sodas one day right there, and me and Tony grabbed one and started running, man, and I ducked into some bushes right there, like 10 feet away from the truck, like an ahuevao. And of course, Tony took off, man, and the guy caught me. I mean, you know, we were little kids. He just took it away and whatever. But
that's true. They used to deliver the soft drinks. You know, once a week, you would get your 2 cases.
Yes.
Was that free, or was that something our parents
I'm sure
paid?
not. I'm sure that was something that had to be paid for, but.
Because that was religious. They would come at almost every house. Pop. You get your 2 cajas. Fanta.
Yeah.
Remember Fanta was one of the stuff?
Yes. Fanta.
Remember the yo-yos?
The Coca-Cola yo-yos.
And the Fanta yo-yos.
Yes.
There were like 2 different styles. One was like sleeker. The other one was like a little rounder.
That was.
Oh, you know, that memory just came. I forgot about that.
Right. It's just a trigger there. It's a trigger. And then when you said Coca-Cola, I remember my first memories of the World Cup, 1978. And because you remember the bottle caps had all the flags of the countries.
Correct.
And so you'd collect them all. So, you know, everybody's like, you got to drink the shit out of this stuff so you can pop the next one open. And you'd open them real careful. You don't want to get them all bent and everything, right? Because you had all the flags for all the.
Well, you could spray them too. And it had to be in good conditions.
Correct.
But you know what I liked about that doesn't happen now because obviously we're older, was that it got you involved into the game. You knew all the players.
Correct. Even as a little kid.
Yeah, and it was really interesting because there was also like a album that we would fill in.
Yeah.
Remember, like trading cards almost.
Almost. That was before the books, before the sticker books.
The sticker books. Yeah, man. Those are great memories. Yeah.
But back to where we lived on that Barnaby Street, El Prado. Remember we were talking a little bit back a couple weeks ago about the Rams. That's where we started playing ball. It was on El Prado because that was set up perfect. It was rectangular. It was, you know,
except for the palm trees. But that's why we always ran
that
up
was
the middle.
That was the sidelines. You know, and like our huevao, we put the line about this far away from it. Like that's gonna make it. No, you know what was worse was remember they had the little concrete boxes for the whatever sewage or plumbing or whatever.
Yeah, the storm systems. Yeah. But we
You work around.
So the plane would go to the other side, the other direction.
Yeah. So that was what we did on Barnaby. I'm trying to think what else we did. Well, you had the admin hill. We could slide. When we were younger, you slide down the hill on the cardboard, during the dry season. And that was cool.
We had the commissary just down the street. So we had access to boxes all day
all
long.
The time. Yep.
Yeah.
And we
we knew our boxes too. We knew this. Like if a washing machine box came through, gold.
Well, and back then it wasn't, you didn't have people looking out for stuff like you do now, where it's, it's paper thin. You get on a box now that you'll rip right through that shit. You can get a good box. It would last you a week.
You would leave it there for the next guy too.
Yes, for sure, man. Absolutely. Let's see who's out here on the TV. You paid the driver. Oh, I'm not sure what's right. Let's see here. Yes. Hey, Ruthie. Hi, Ruthie. How are you?
Hola, Ruthie. ¿Cómo está, Ruthie?
Yes. And I have got it in my bedroom, but I was going to show it because Ruthie made a comment about the hat that I've been wearing, right? And that's that Balboa Trading Company. So, Ruthie, always at the reunion. Great hat.
Oye, Ruthie was metido in all these cuentos. Ruthie was there, la más chiquitita, but with the bigger guys.
Well, and Ruthie was when I moved to Amador Road. They lived right behind us. So after you guys and DeLucas on Barnaby, that was my peeps was on Amador Road. Ruthie was there. Connie Armbruster was there on that side. But no, and then again back to Barnaby. We keep digressing away from Barnaby, right? When you got a little older, you graduated from the cardboard boxes and the hills. Now you got on the bicycles. Remember? And you remember that jump up to the Balboa Elementary School?
And you would get a head start because you would start from the third hill.
Yeah, well, eventually you started from there. First time you're like, no, you started the low one there,
Well, but you wouldn't get it. You would go. You wouldn't get any
height before you even get to the jump.
Yeah, you wouldn't get any height. You had to go from the top to get the height. Yeah.
And I remember the first few times watching some of the older guys doing that, man. And like, man, that's insane. But again, that's the locuras we did. And again, if I do the math, I didn't move to Amador Road till I was in first grade. Okay, that's what, 5-6 years old. So all of the shit we're talking about is at 3, 4, 5 years old. We're going. I remember my brother and Tony DeLuca and I.
5th grade.
Yeah, Saturday mornings. My dog Odin, big Irish setter, and Tony and my brother, and we'd go up that back hill behind Balboa Elementary. Up on that slide up there going into the jungles,
Orky Trail. So they call it Orky Trail.
Yes, that was a lot of fun.
And then there was that dungeon halfway on the right side on the way up.
Wappin David? Yes.
Wappin.
That was behind the slide that was at the elementary school. Before you got to the ball field up there, remember? They had slide there on the little hill.
There was like this prehistoric colonial Spanish time.
Yes, because there was rock formations there.
But there was a bunker. I mean, it was built. It was like a square bunker, but that's where the bats used to sleep. Right. And we were like dumb kids. We thought the coolest thing to do was to smoke them out in the middle of the day. So we would sneak underneath the sleeping bats, light up some, newspaper, and then book the hell out of there, and all the bats would come out. And we thought that was like so cool.
Nuts, man. The things that we would do up there. And we'd be up there for hours. You come back at noon because you get hungry. Let's go back home and get something to eat.
Yeah.
Now,
we knew all the trails.
My kids at 10 years old, if they're gone 20 minutes, I don't know where they're at. I want to find out. What a world. What a different environment. And then, so when did you guys move over to off of, because you guys moved behind the bank, right? Behind Knights of Columbus.
Right. We were in El Prado. I think I was like in 7th grade.
Okay.
It actually,
which
8th grade.
Roby and us at what, like 4th grade, 5th grade?
Pardon?
How, so you graduated 81, Roby 80, so 5 years. Okay. So you were in 7th grade. So we were in like 2nd or 3rd grade then.
Yeah.
When you moved there. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Because I used to go to St. Mary's, and I used to walk from El Prado to St. Mary's. I remember that was a walk, man. That was not desirable. That wasn't like a Mickey Mouse walk.
Right.
And then we moved close to St. Mary's, and I remember I never got to walk to St. Mary's when it was right next to it.
Yeah, because you guys had the house on the end of the curve there, where the roads merged.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
you guys were across the street from the DeStefano's.
What? In El Prado or
no. When you moved to the next house.
No, we had the Gripples. First, it was the Wilkersons, and then they moved out, and the Gripples moved in from Gamboa. And then in front of us were the Rayburns and Sandy Terry. And then to the right was the Rodriguezes.
Okay.
Over to the Kofers and the Malias.
So who occupied that the house next to you? Guys, the duplex. Who was in the house next to you?
Next to us were the Cruzes. Remember Linda Cruz, Rita Cruz?
Yeah. Okay.
They were my neighbors. Best neighbors in the world, let me tell you.
Street. There you go. By the way,
Rita was my babysitter. He hates that I always say that. But yeah, she was my favorite. And then Coach Holland lived above us.
Okay.
Holland lived above us, yeah. And then right directly above me was this piano player. He was a teacher, and his daughter became a famous piano player, McLaughlin or something like that. And they lived above us. Then they gave us the piano, and then we had the piano. And Lourdes and I did that, walking on the piano, stomping on the keys.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
We destroyed that piano quickly.
That's great. Look at Ruthie. How do you remember this stuff? Do you see the chats on the bottom there?
Yeah, I love it. That's why I got the glasses on. I can see them.
Okay, good.
You know what, Ruthie? When we're up here talking like this, man, they're popping in. I haven't thought of this stuff in years.
Right. That's what's cool about this, man. And if anybody wants to join,
good idea. Thanks for bringing
me a message,
me in,
guys. If you want to get on with us, more than happy to have you on. This is all this is about. This is for all of us, just to reminisce.
Bro, I'm totally available on Fridays at this hour. This is perfect. Happy hour,
It's a lot of fun, man. It's just tranquilo.
I'm not gallivanting anymore like in the old days. Tranquilo.
This is what it's all about, man. This is what, and you know what? I guarantee there's no other group in the world that can do this.
Oh, I'm sure there is, but yeah, we're one of a very
not like
few.
Zonians, dude. Honestly, not like Zonians. You think about it. I mean, if you think who else is a bunch of expats like that have that bond?
In Hawaii, there was a group in Hawaii that was like that. I mean, I'm not comparing. I'm just saying that I'm just, I want to be humble here because I hate to say that we're the only ones.
We are the only ones.
We are the only ones. Definitely with our history. That's all there is to it. Our history, and something that's amazing about the Zonians is the love for Panama. Panamanians don't even understand that love. They don't comprehend it. Like, how could these guys love our country more than us? You know what I mean?
But it's an appreciation after the fact.
They vacation the place more than us, And think of what's like. Cayuca comes from the Canal Zone. Fopa comes from the Canal Zone. Yeah. These things are like DNA level in Panama now.
Yeah. No, it is. And, the thing about it is it's an appreciation after the fact. We kind of took it for granted when we were down there growing up. And, we had that rivalry against the Panamanians, and whatnot. Like we talk about the Kiwanis and all that. But now as you grow up, it's a little different. It's in fact, it's a whole lot different. Yes, you see, Lynn, we are the only ones. Absolutely, we're the only ones. Come on.
You're right, Lynn. You're
second
right.
Places, listen, second and third, fourth, fifth, they might be close and it might be similar, but they can't touch what the zone has. And I guarantee that group, and this is kind of like that argument that I have with my kids about music, right? We listen to music that's 40, 50 years old, but I guarantee my kids, when they're 40, 50 years old, they're not going to be listening to the same shit that was playing today. There's no way that's not the same quality music, man. And it's the same thing with Zonians. Zonians of all age groups will get together. They always embrace each other. They always do what we're doing here and just smile and reminisce and there's nothing like it, man. It's
right on, Willie. Get back to the Balboa.
So did you finish St. Mary's? Did you go all the way through the 8th grade in St. Mary's?
No, just 7th. Lourdes did. I didn't.
Okay.
I wanted to get out of there like the year before. I was already bugging my parents like brutally. Yeah. So when Lourdes got out, my dad was like, F it, Ricky, I always follow Lourdes absolutely everywhere. Poor girl. I mean, she couldn't go anywhere without me being there. Como chicle, pegao. So I got to go to Corundu in 8th grade.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool, man.
So I did St. Mary's from 4th grade to 8th grade. And then, because that's as far as it went to, like Lourdes, and then went to Corundu. And then I think shortly after that, they went ahead and pushed it all the way through to 12th grade. And I'm like, shoot, thank God I didn't have to do that, man. But because I was joking around when we had,
right?
Huh?
You went to St. Mary's too, right?
4th grade to 8th grade. Yeah.
You went all the way. You know what? I was good. I didn't really care.
When we were doing the reunion show back in January, I was talking to Rebecca about that, and because Robert Joyce was on there and several other people, and all of us, of course, had been to St. Mary's, and I was telling her, I remember taking the bus from Balboa Elementary going home, and we'd make that first turn to go through Gavlin and drop everybody off there, and then go down Amador Road, and we'd always be hanging out in the windows, Fairies, St. Mary's, making fun of them, and then all of a sudden the next year, Chusha, there's me, man. Oh, there comes a bus, man. They're all making
until the Balboa relays came.
Right.
And then we were clean house, bro.
Yes. Because we had the Panameños, man. We had some fast
mentira. Balboa, Corundu, those guys were fast too.
They were.
But one year, St. Mary's won, man.
No, we actually, and not only that, we where everybody had like the cool track, uniforms and stuff. And we had to wear our
we had our gym uniforms.
Yeah, I remember that. Remember the book bags with the springs on them, the cloth book bag? That was cool.
Did your age group, like my age group, when we were teens, we would let me tell you a typical Friday night as teens.
Did you get kicked out?
We would start if there was a football game, we'd go to the football game. But if not, we would start at the skating ring. Remember the skating ring?
Right. Yes.
And from there,
down from section I.
Right. And after the skating ring, and you got your girlfriend, all that, there's like holding hands, and then from there we would go to this place called the Teen Club or the Gap.
The Gap. Yes. The Gap. That was right on the corner to go down to La Boca Road.
Right. Play pool, whatever.
Yes.
And then
that's when you were cool.
11:30 at night.
Hey, Sherry.
Head to the freaking the ¿cómo se llama? That restaurant that we the something club. I'm getting old.
What?
Where we would go eat our papa fritas.
In Balboa?
Right next to the theater.
Oh, the clubhouse.
The clubhouse. There you go. The clubhouse.
Right, juicy loco.
We would go to the clubhouse, 11:30. Everybody meet outside the clubhouse, and then Then we would go to the Owl Show at midnight.
Show. Well, I didn't do that. I was too young for that.
Hold hands and go to the movies.
Right.
Remember Lynn? I think Lynn and I held hands a few times.
There you go. All right, Lynn. There you go. The clubhouse. There you go.
St. Mary's Ferries. Yes, we had to do that all the time.
No, that was really cool. Listen, I remember I wasn't old enough to do the whole Owl Show thing, and that kind of
I think after my age group they stopped that.
Yeah, I believe so. But I do remember the skating ring, dude. Friday nights, the skating ring was awesome. That was a lot of fun, man. You get dropped off and all right, come back in 3 hours, man. And I always remember, all right, couples only. They'd play some, and what was they would play this one stupid song all the time. I don't remember what the hell it is. I have to, if I hear it, I'll remember and put it on.
The Bay City Rollers.
Whatever it was a slow song, and that's
SATURDAY.
Well, that too, yes. But I remember when they do the couples only, and we'd fucking haul ass out there, man, and they're chasing you out. All of a sudden, you got to sit down for 5 minutes, but they'd have to try and catch you. And then when that place closed, then skating moved to Rodman. I think you were probably gone by then.
Yeah, I was already, but we still would go. Every once in a while, we would go because you could drink beer. At that place, you could get beers.
Right.
We were seniors. I think Lynn hung out with all my group, so Lynn probably remembers too.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah. People ate at the clubhouse. Yeah, no doubt. They did, man. The clubhouse was the place.
Oh, yeah. That's where we learned how to eat gravy on our French fries.
That's where everybody met. I would make fun of my sister on here, but when she got in trouble there one time because she snagged a car and mom chased her down and caught her at the clubhouse. I remember that one. That was pretty funny. But let me see.
Did you guys have the Wednesday night pool?
Yes.
That was also part of our childhood.
I forgot all about that.
And that's when we would play this one game. Today you can't say it, but we were calling it
Remember Vincent ran the pool.
Pardon?
Vincent ran the pool.
Oh, I don't know. It was always the cool kids were always the I remember they were always the older kids, like the college kids.
We used to play Smear the Queer there in that.
Smear the Queer, man. And then Mayhem Ball. Remember Mayhem Ball? That you would,
it was a big ball that was full of water.
And then it was like polo. You had to come up, boom, slam it on the gutter.
Well, that's the thing. When you're playing Smear the Queer, as soon as people grab you, you're like, dude, let go of the ball, man.
You got to let go of the ball. But there was always one guy that would never let go. And we would hold him down so he was like this close to death.
And then you always had that one jackass that would hold you down even after you let go of the ball, man.
Steve Crane was his name. Steve Crane. That guy would never let go of the ball.
Take a big gulp of air, just hang on to it, man. Because you weren't going to get hit or anything. You just hold him down, you know?
Hey, nobody would let go until you let go of the ball.
Right.
You turn blue, it didn't matter.
That was, man. The way they built that thing and everything, man. Dude, the zone, they did shit right, man. I remember only drinking during the football game. Yeah, that is true, Purvis. No doubt about that. Yeah, Sherry took my mom's car one time, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he even got a flat tire on it. She ended up having to change the tire herself, but she wasn't even old enough to drive. And then next thing, her and my mom and my cousin are coming, going, "Where's your sister?" And they were at the clubhouse or something. Shoot, I was like, "I'm not me, man. I'm staying the hell out of that one, man." But good times at the clubhouse, man.
I think every single one of us learned how to. Well, maybe not every one of us, but a vast majority of us learned how to drive without a license. You know,
without a doubt,
your parents' car.
Without a doubt, absolutely.
We didn't drink during football games.
No.
Not Bulldogs or Rams.
No, we didn't. I didn't. I drink like a fish afterwards, but not during the games.
Lynn, afterwards, we would go to that place like in Panama that had the German beers, Lowenbrau, back in the day. Remember
it was called Munich's.
Munich. That's what
yes, off of Via España. Remember
all
that?
The Bulldogs, and then Lynn and Lori and Kelly and Maritza and Annette. We'd all go to that place, and then that guy would see us, and he would almost like, "All right, you guys go to drink one beer, and then you guys are out of here," you know, because we would go there and just
so one night.
Everything. Lowenbrau. Oh yeah, cheers.
I was at a party. We went with a group of my friends. We were at Munich's, and my brother showed up there with his friends, with Johnny Rooks and Fabio Navarro and a couple of those guys. And we left, and when they showed up there, they were already pretty buzzed up anyway. And we left, and there was a party at the Knights of Columbus, right across from the police station that night. And I remember hanging out there or whatever, and all of a sudden somebody walks up to me and he goes, "Hey, your brother got in a wreck, man." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, right in front of the high school." Son of a bitch, man. So somebody gave me a ride out there. He was coming around the curve, and right in front of the ROTC building, the first house or building on El Prado there, he hit the curb there and hit the fire hydrant. And that shit doesn't pop off like in the movies. That shit stayed right there. He was driving the Fairmont, my parents' Fairmont station.
I remember that car.
Destroyed the car. When I got there, man, he's fucking trash, man. The cops hadn't gotten there yet. I'm like, dude, you got to get the fuck out of here, man. Just go. I'll take care of it. And I did. I remember cops showed up, whatever, and you know, give him some money, whatever, and we left, and they towed the car, whatever. And I went home that night, and my parents are like, about 3 a.m, "Where's your brother?" I was like, "I don't know, I'm sleeping," And about the third time they wake me up, "Where's Scott?" I was like, "All right, he wrecked the car. He totaled it, but he's fine. He's probably at Sheila's house. Now, can I go to bed?" I fucking snitched him out after that. I'm like, "I'm done, man. This is way too late to be asking me that shit, man." But that was coming from Munich's, man, because they would serve you those big giant beers.
Wow, the Lowenbraus.
Yeah.
Right from the kegs. I mean, they were like, whatever. Oh yeah, did you guys let's talk about those remember the teen club years?
Yeah.
All right. Remember Albrook had a teen club, Clayton had a teen club, so during my age group, Albrook teen club parties were always the best ones. How was it in your age group?
We didn't. The only military base we went on to do anything was Amador for the yacht club.
Amador was like,
and the only other reason was to go buy beer, to contraband.
Yeah. Amador wasn't really a base for us. Amador was just, the causeway that you had to behave a little bit more.
And you didn't even know if it was Army or Navy, because they had both of them on it. It was
and civilians, wasn't like a civilian.
Well, on the left-hand side, once you went through the gate, you drove up, because remember, Soriano's lived in the first house. And then I forget who it was in the second house. I don't know who the hell it was. And then we were in the third house there, right on Amador Road. So we would always go to Amador on our bikes and go to the yacht club, and ride on the launches there and shit, or go out on the causeway. But you would go in through the gate, and there was a first road that turned kind of the left there, and all that was Navy, a big, tall Navy building, like 3 or 4 stories.
Correct. That's right.
Remember, and on the right was Army.
Remember Magda Mayana?
Yes, they lived on that last house.
She lived on the Amador side.
Correct. On the other side of that fence.
On the other side of that fence, right?
Yes. Yeah, because her younger sister Monica was at school with me. And then
to the right, up in the hill, was all the Navy officers lived.
Correct. Yes. I think Mark Rosenberg and Naomi Rosenberg, their mom, when she got divorced, married a Jim. I'm drawing a blank on his last name, but they got married and moved up on the hill there, up in one of those houses.
Those are nice. Those are nice houses. Rick Jones.
Those houses went for a lot of money after the canal turnover. Those houses went for big bucks.
Well, nice area, but you know what? You got all the gas tanks up there, so I don't know.
I know, right? That's your backyard view, is a big fuel tank.
Right.
Oh, that was cool. I remember going into Amador, and we would ride to where there was like a softball field there. Right before, remember when you made that right turn to go to the yacht club, and if not, you went kind of straight, and then it went left, and the barracks were there. Well, that's where they would always land helicopters, and we would hear them coming, and you think of that stuff as being far, but when you get on your bicycle, the zone wasn't that big, man. And we get on our bikes and haul ass, and we'd be there and watch them land, and they take off, and at one point they used to have the cannon out there, and it was pointing towards that 193rd Infantry Brigade headquarters building there, and apparently people were throwing mangoes in it, and when they would fire it at 5 o'clock for whatever, they'd be splattering on the wall there, so they turned it out towards the golf course. That was hilarious because you wouldn't
see biggest maleantes, man. We just
no respect for anything, man. Knew what we wanted.
I'll tell you what, that road had the best mango trees.
Yes. You know who had the best mango trees? Talking about St. Mary's, in that courtyard. In that back courtyard where you'd go on break.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Because it was all black pavement or whatever, but it had the one square of dirt, and it had that big mango tree there. Those
the Scottish Rite Temple parking lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those mangoes were humongous. Because that dirt underneath wasn't competing with anything.
I think they called those papaya mangoes. Didn't they call those like
must have been,
papaya mangoes or something like that?
Giant, man.
Yeah, they were huge.
Yes. Remember we went skimboarding? That's right, Sherry.
We skimboarded there a lot. Yeah.
That was cool. And then, of course, you had the Amador. The package store, the Class 6 store there with Mr. Cheris. He was always such a nice guy. He knew everybody there. He knew everybody's parents. Hey, Mr. Benningoff, tell your mom and dad I say hello. All right, get your beer there and go out to the causeway. That was so cool. Played marbles over there. Yes, remember that?
Stop. But then after that, I think it closed. You had to go all the way across the bridge into Rodman.
Yeah, they all started to close eventually, but for a while there, man.
When I was growing up, that was the spot. But then right before I left, that wasn't there anymore. And we had to go to Rodman to go get our beers. Right there by the first gate.
The one, once, I think it was maybe 10th grade or 11th grade. I don't remember what grade it was that we moved out to Los Rios. And so then it was Albrook for me. And then by then you had the 24 hours up on Diablo up on the hill there, which is, it's nice at 4 o'clock in the morning, go get a beer if you wanted.
Oh, yeah. For us, Diablo was where you would get the toys for Christmas. Remember that?
Yes.
All the toys would come.
Yes, it was. And they had a barber shop in there too, didn't they?
And a theater.
Did they have a theater there? Really?
Yeah. They had a theater there. Towards on the right side.
Okay.
All the way to the end. There was a little tiny theater there. I've seen a couple movies there.
Olympian hams. That's what we would sell. It's funny. You'd buy Budweiser beer and you'd take it down to the Panamanians. They're like, no, it's a basura, man. They would scoff that stuff. But you take hams, Old Milwaukee, Olympia, they'd buy the shit out of that stuff. The Panamanians love drinking that stuff.
Mr. Curtis drank Miller's, and then he would put salt on the top.
Yes. My uncle did that. He would also throw peanuts
in it. Was it Miller's, Lynn, that Mr. Curtis drank, or was it Pabst Blue Ribbon?
EBR?
I don't remember now. Jerry's going to kill me if he knew.
Hams.
It was hams. You're right, Speedy. You're right.
Ugh. No, let me tell you what, man. Yeah, if you put salt in it, my uncle would put the salted peanuts in, man. And I still do that every so often now. I'll throw peanuts into a beer. And it does give it a good compliment there. But so what else? Who else? Where did you guys all live? We were talking about Barnaby Street and in Balboa, Amador Road, and all that shit. I remember on Amador Road, Tony DeLuca's mom would come by and pick my brother and I up to go to the beach on Sundays, and she would just stop right there on Amador Road and stop all the traffic. We'd run across the street, jump in the car, and go to the beach because she always had all the passes and all that. And we'd go and spend our days there. And then we'd come back, she'd drop us all off there, and then she'd leave. And God, Tony and I would go up on that hill because right across the street, it was that hill there, talking about those houses up there. And we would sit there and roll rocks down and hit cars. And I was like, wow, man, when you think about that now, man, because how we never got in trouble is beyond me, because it wasn't even like you could even hide or anything, but I don't know, man. That was just one of those stupid things we did as Zonians,
And do you remember the fireworks on 4th of July right there in El Prado?
Mm-hmm. Well, and they wouldn't they fire them up from Sosa Hill?
Sosa Hill, right.
Yeah, so, I mean, all of Balboa, La Boca, Ancon, anywhere you're seeing them.
Right.
That was
Sosa Hill was also all the Balboa kids. Well, I'm sure they're like Diablo, La Boca for sure. We would ride our bikes down that freaking hill.
On the face of the hill.
Well, that was what I was saying. There was two ways down. The roadway, that's when you were a rookie. All the guys did that one. But the face, that was for the legit riders. Not everybody could go down there.
I never did that.
Because you could only go with your brakes all the way on.
Right.
You never let go of your brakes, and you just
then you got to kind of zigzag a little bit.
Zigzag, but back then the Balboa High School kids would go up the hill. Remember, they would carve out Balboa High School.
Or CZ forever, or CZ.
So we would just use the whatever trail they would leave behind. That's what we would ride our bikes down.
That's one of the things that I see now, and it is what it is. Change is change, but to see that hill covered in trees now, it's like, man.
But beautiful trees, though. Those are like really good, beautiful trees. They're
it
like
just looks so different,
like
though.
that.
It just almost looks out of place. So I imagine, they don't burn it anymore.
It does look strange. It does look strange, but they are. I mean, I love trees because architecture. So I know the different woods.
There you go.
So I know those are the good trees. From the good wood. But hey, for us, remember in the back there was like a quarry.
Yes.
In the back.
There was a quarry back there.
And there was always one kid that somebody we would take somehow, not me, of course. Some kid's bike would disappear because we would grab him. Wow!
Flinging off that thing. Yes. That's exactly puro maleante back then. That's the first time, and that quarry is the first time I ever smoked cigarettes with Mike and John Dunsworth.
That quarry back there. Not many people knew about that quarry back there.
No. Because you could reach it from the back road, but you had to go up a ways and then come back around. You
remember those houses in La Boca Road on the right behind the tanks, the gas tanks? There was it's where the guys that ministered, I guess, the gas tanks lived up there. There was like 2 mansions up there.
Heading towards Balboa
so you're going to La Boca. Remember there was like the sheds.
Okay.
You remember where the JWB was,
yes,
right?
Yes.
JWB is on the left-hand side. Then right when you pass the JWB on the right-hand side.
It's right past where the Tavernilla road came down.
And then there was a road, right? There was a road up that road.
Okay.
Well, that's how you got to the quarry. You had to go up that road and then back towards into people's backyards.
Yes. And it was up at the same place where you would go to the right and go up Sosa Hill.
No, this is down, Papito.
All right, so if I'm coming up
what was the name of the street that went up on the side of the clubhouse?
It's past the Elks Club, right?
Elks Club.
On La Boca Road.
Yeah. You're past the Elks Club.
Okay, and it's on the right side. If you're heading towards La Boca.
What's the name of that street that would go all the way up on the side of the Balboa clubhouse?
Tavernilla.
They would go Tavernilla. Okay, so you know how Tavernilla comes out on La Boca Road?
Yeah, and you make a right.
Okay, so let's say you come down Tavernilla, you make a right, and immediately there were these sheds there.
Yes.
Okay, right when you pass those sheds, you would turn right, and you would either go to where the tanks were, but if you kept going, there was a road
Right,
that
right.
kept going behind those houses.
Well, there's our historian there, David Dahlstrom, our unofficial zoning historian,
Yeah,
David
Esso
Dahlstrom.
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. It was something to do with the gas people. There was two houses. They were like big.
Yeah,
they
they were
the regular zoning houses.
Yeah, and I wonder about some of that stuff. Who had ownership of what there? Because the way things were set up.
I think that's with the shipping people, the shipping and
Okay.
petroleum, those guys.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like Danny Coffey's family, they were into that.
Right,
shipping.
right.
Blastonhurst or something like that. That last name from the
Blennerhassett.
other side.
Blennerhassett.
Those guys.
Yes.
That's those families. Well,
right.
So up in there, Willie, is how you got to that quarry. So if you didn't know that, you had no way of getting.
No idea it was there. Yeah, because you couldn't see it from La Boca Road.
Right.
But it was right next to it
because there was a fence, and they would
on that back road where the dry dock was and stuff. It was right close to that, but you didn't know it. You couldn't see it from there.
Hey, speaking of that, how about on the back of La Boca Road, there was like this. It's like these huge doors that would go into the side of the hill.
Yes.
What the heck was that?
I believe that was another bunker. I think my dad had to do work there. Because after the police, he got transferred. First, he went to graphics branch, and then that was the next one that I forget what happened there, but then he went to canal protection. And so,
all those cops went canal protection.
Yeah. So but I know they were doing something there, meeting there, in fact, before Just Cause, they were starting to have a lot more meetings, which obviously.
So that was like a big room, or that was like a bunch of rooms?
I that would be interesting to find out. If anybody knows on here, we'll maybe have to ask our friend Dave Dahlstrom to look that one up. But
I once heard that that's where like the mathematicians worked.
Okay.
That's what I heard. But
because it was massive. I mean, the concrete walls around it were huge. Interesting. And who knows? That might have been even just a bunker, kind of a Cold War thing as well.
CIA stuff, yeah.
Well, because the canal was supposedly a target, right? If they launched missiles, that was one of the places they wanted to hit.
Something else I heard, and I haven't done the research, but this is another, from somebody important told me.
Right.
And there was no reason to BS, but during World War II, all the houses in the canal zone had to have red roofs. That way, the Axis powers, because Panama was neutral. So Panama, if you didn't have, they would be able to bomb only where there was red roofs.
Really?
Look, Dahlstrom, can you look into that?
You're hired, brother. That's
what I heard too.
I know, like my dad told me that, like back then the little knobs they had in the road, because they didn't have the reflectors like they do now, they were used during World War II because during bombing raids when you had the blackouts and you turn on the lights off, that's the way you could drive down the road. You could feel that you're on the road. You hear the boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
You're in the right lane or something. I don't know. Could be wrong there too, but who knows, man. But
that's how stories get on. Passed
right.
out.
I mean, it would make sense. You don't want to have your It makes no sense to turn all the lights off in the city and then have all your damn headlights on in the cars. It kind of gives it away. So you got to drive and not be able to see that shit. So I imagine maybe they had to black out their windows. Yes, I did remember that. Yes, everybody had to black out their windows.
Well, how can we remember? That was World War II.
Right. Because everything was
the stories.
That's so cool. And then when there was the bombing, Libya, Dad got called in the bunker for. Okay, there you go. See,
I knew there had to be something because nobody ever talked about it. It was this all right. It was there. You always saw it.
I would always assume it would, and that something like that you would have it in the admin. I mean, it's up on a damn hill. I gotta believe you could have shit underground there. You know
where else? In Quarry Heights.
Mm-hmm.
That mountains also has offices inside.
Yes.
That's military intelligence was in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know my dad did do stuff there before Just Cause. Amador was a quarantine area for Japanese and Germans living. Wow, look at that.
No shit.
Look at that. See, I'm telling you, this guy's a historian, man.
Where in Amador would they quarantine them? Oh, you mean how that maybe in that center where the new yacht club is? And then there used to be like buildings there, but they knocked them down from a long time ago.
Could be because they were old as hell.
It's like when I grew up there was no houses there. That area was like flat, like the roads were there to hold up a little community.
Yep, there you go, by the pool. Yeah,
the pool, right.
Yeah, those were old buildings. That's right, and they were similar in style to like the ones in Diablo. Those tall wooden eight family units or whatever those.
Yeah, because I had seen pictures, but they weren't there when I was growing up. That I remember.
Yeah, because I remember we used to ride our bikes out there.
Yeah, we used to play soccer back there.
We would ride our bikes out to the yacht club, and chain them up right there, and then go down the pier. And you just jump on the launches when people go to get on their yachts. They'd get on the little launch. They would take them out there, and we would just ride on them with them, and then we'd ride back and get on the next one and ride out, and we just spent hours just riding from one to the other one. And the guys were cool. They'd be like, "All right, whatever, man."
All right. Well, growing up, now we're 17 years old. Now, let's think about the places, or talk about the places that we would, and the things that we would do at 17. Well, no, wait. Let's not forget 15. No, we did talk about the teen clubs,
right?
And we didn't get too involved. But the remember there was always a band playing, and there was always a lot of dancing.
Right.
No matter what, you were always dancing during those teen club years.
Heck yeah.
For us, there was also the American Legion. They would also have parties there on Friday nights for the 8th, 9th, 10th graders at the American Legion when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had it.
Yeah, no, it would. It was Thursday nights was in the middle bar, which is the background here that you're seeing here.
You're not going to the middle bar when you're in 8th, 9th, and 10th grade.
No.
You would be able to go to the American Legion on the Friday night above. And then the older kids would go downstairs. So we did the teen clubs, the out show.
Hold on. So you went to the American Legion at what age are you talking about?
Well, for us, the American Legion parties were during when I was first going. Freebird. Yes, Freebird. When I was first going, were for like the Balboa Ram age group kids.
Okay.
7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade. Yeah.
See, for me, those
it wasn't really associated. Like you wouldn't. Like I remember, I wouldn't. We, our age group, which were the older kids that were going to up in the American Legion, we wouldn't go to the Chicken Coop or the Yacht Club because we were too young.
Yeah,
we knew that we just couldn't go there. And then when we turned 17, well, some 16 years old, but mostly 17 years old. That's when we started going to the yacht, to the middle bar.
Well, the middle bar was popular on Thursday nights.
Thursday nights, correct.
And usually if you were a junior on Thursday nights, people were like, "Whoa, what are you doing here?"
Only seniors.
Yes.
Some juniors would go, but mostly seniors would go. And then came the weekend. So the weekends, somebody always had a car. So the weekends, I remember we would, start at the yacht club. I mean at the causeway, swimming, hanging out, chasing girls. And then from there, we would go to have, we would go eat soup or pulpo at the yacht club down at the bottom bar.
Right.
And then you would look out to the canal and see all the boats going through. And here are a bunch of 17 years old drinking Panamas.
Right. No question.
Eating pulpo, the next thing you know, boop, gotta go home to go eat dinner, right? That's how 17-year-old used to live.
What a life.
Then as you got like late mid 17 into 18, and then of course Saturdays you were taking off to the beach, right? And then coming back home Sunday.
Yeah. Saturday was kind of like the random day. A lot of different things went on Saturday. But Friday night, everybody pretty much you could count on going to the yacht club. Thursday night, again,
start at the yacht club. You can start at the yacht club.
Yep.
Because remember, we also had the spinning club.
Look at that. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, Wendy Sylvester. Mwah. I remember her.
I love it. So it's funny. You hear these stories like this. You catch the Chiva and that stuff. And I remember talking to Fran Hearn a couple years ago, and she was mentioning they would go out Friday night because they lived in Balboa, and they would go out Friday night, and they had to hurry and be back at the Balboa train station to catch the last train back to Gamboa. I'm thinking, wow, that's crazy, man. I can't fathom somebody. I remember ever hearing any of my friends ever say, "Hey, man, I got to catch a train to go home." You know, that was the thing back then, man. Yeah, man. I was like, wow, that's que locura, man. That was amazing.
But wait, Friday nights we also had. I don't know if your age group had this, but my age group had this. Gamboa had a bar out there. I think it was the golf club, golf club. Remember, they had a bar there. That place was really cool too. We would go out there as well.
Interesting. No, I don't think I ever did anything there. I did go to a couple of toga parties at was it the gun club or whatever over there, right before you made the turn to go to Gamboa. Remember, you went under the railroad bridge, and they had that club out there. Just anyway, club. Listen to me. It was a fucking bar, man. But you know, but it was. I remember going there and a couple of toga parties, and I went to one toga party, and I don't know what happened, man, but I got fucking ripped. And next thing you know, I jump in a car with a bunch of GIs, and because that's when I was living in Los Rios, and they're going to Corazal. I was like, well, hell, shit, I'll jump in with you guys. Don't know who the hell these guys were. And we were hauling ass down the road. And you remember you get to that curve over, was it Pedro Miguel or Paraíso or whatever? It was like down that hill there, in that curve before you got to the cemetery area. Well, this car is hauling ass, and they're coming around that curve, and I'm on the passenger side there, and now we're off the road a little bit, and we hit that whatever thing, the metal piece there, and off the side we went. Thank God we landed perfectly where the car just slid. You know,
by the Frank Cemetery, by the Frank
Cemetery? Yes. And we ended up down there, man. I get out of that car, and again, I don't know who the fuck these people are, man. I crawl back up the hill, and somebody was coming by. I forget. Oh God, I'm trying to think who it was. I don't know. For some reason, I want to say it was Mark Baker, but somebody picked me up and took me home. And for all I know, I don't know what happened to these people. But all right, man. Hey, good luck to you, man. See ya. You know.
Remember the Summit Golf Club?
Yes, that's where it was.
They had parties out there.
Summit L. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, Summit L. Yeah,
they would have some big toga parties there. Big cake parties.
They had great parties there Friday nights. But it wasn't every Friday night. I remember that. It was like a few.
It was hit or miss. It was just every so often they would throw together a big party.
And then we would always go there. So that was a Friday night thing to do.
That was like out of the city.
Fridays we had options, right? Because we also had the spinning club. Spinning club always had the cool bands.
Spinning club, yes.
Always had the cool bands, and then you could party right out of, from the back of your car, open the back.
Well, a lot of people had their sheds there, that you could party at as well.
Yeah. Remember that little bridge? I can't believe none of us went over that bridge.
Right. And there was some big parties at the spinning club, man. That was cool.
The greatest parties, man. Especially, you guys were a little too young because I was already too young. But at the end of the Canal Zone, I think that was in 79.
Okay.
The last 3 days were just wild parties everywhere.
Oh wow!
Well, the ones that I went to, with I think Lynn definitely was there, were the ones at the spinning club.
Okay.
Oh my God! It was 3 days straight partying, bro.
That was because it was the end, huh?
It was the end. Yeah, it was the end. And they had barbecue. They had water. They had everything. But it was the spinning club was one of our options. And then the last place, I don't know if you guys went to it, but my age group, VFW, very few women.
Yep.
You would always end up there eating chili, firing at that duck game.
Yeah.
Playing pool on that freaking table that was the furthest thing from even.
Yes. That ball never rolled straight, no matter what, man. Never rolled straight. And I don't think they ever changed that felt. I think that felt was when that first put that table in there, that felt was there.
Oh, yeah, but we would leave the VFW and the freaking sun would be up, bro.
Absolutely. You play on the pinball machines back there. And then, of course, there's other things that are unmentionables there. But
that was a 17-year-old lifestyle.
Yeah. No questions asked. And you know what? The thing about it was, you didn't have a lot of people getting in trouble. You didn't have a lot of people, you know.
When your uncle's the president, that's why we were always in trouble. Thank God for that connection.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you weren't in trouble. I mean, you know, it's like me drive. I remember driving down to work one time, completely unrelated, not party or anything, but I was driving down. In fact, just past the bodegas, right there on the Transismica, and a guy is crossing the street, and I thought, you know, typical jaywalker, he's gonna stop and let the car go by. Well, he didn't stop. Bam! Hit him. Bam! 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 La vida, man. We put him in a car, took him to the hospital. Seguro Social was down a couple miles down the road. They put him on the gurney, take him in. I go in and get on the phone and call my dad. I was, hey man, I just hit a guy. He's like, you okay? I go, yeah, no, I hit him. He was walking. Did you kill him? No, we're at the hospital here. You got any money? I was like, yeah, I got $20. I'll be all right. You go, all right, well, call me and let me know what happened. That was it, man. That was the expectation. And here, this is coming from a former cop, you know, but they knew that in Panama, it's tranquilo como pirulo, man. You know, look at Lynn. Yes, you were there. We all were there.
Oh yeah, Willie. Another thing about Balboa growing up was the look at that. Golden State Warriors won again. I don't know if you guys are following basketball, but those Warriors, it's like a 10-man team. But anyways, let's move on. Growing up, remember the parades that we had in going down Balboa Road?
Mm-hmm.
The 4th of July.
They started in La Boca. Remember, they would start in La Boca, like at the gas station, I think, is where they were. Because remember, you had all those lanes. That's where they would form up and then come down La Boca Road, turn, and then go down in front of the clubhouse and all that stuff. You remember as kids, we would ride our bikes around the parade. It was very important. There'd be like 30 kids and bikes, man, riding behind the parade. Dude, I even remember walking along on the wall on Stevens Circles. Like sometimes my mom would go to the grocery store. And I didn't want to go in that grocery store all the time, so I'd just go and play at Stevens Circle. Yeah, hang out at Stevens Circle. Yeah, right. Man. Yeah. Get up on that brick wall and walk around it, man. Yeah. That's beautiful architecture, by the way. Yes. Reyes took some pictures that I downloaded from it, but man, beautiful architecture. Nice. You know, because it was a monument to somebody. Oh, Stevens, obviously, but I don't remember. Yeah. It was really nice. Wasn't Stevens one of the guys that built the canal? I think he was an engineer. Colonel Stevens or whatever. I know you had Goethals. Dahlstrom. Yeah, right. Don't worry, he'll be thrown in here any second now. But yeah, even the post office was beautiful architecture. Oh, you know, no what was your post office box? People always ask me, Ricky, how did you get into architecture? Because I mean, since 8th grade, I've been doing it, right? And you were surrounded by it. Man, I grew up around these beautiful buildings that always caught my attention. And then even on your uncle's side, you know, that architecture there, the presidency. Well, it's on my mother's side. Right. On my mom's side, her brother is an architect. You know that remember way back in the day, Paitia had the first round building. See, there he is. There's before Goethals. That's right. Stevens Circles. Yeah. Well, anyways, architecture comes from my mom's side. Okay. So my little brother's an architect as well, and so is my sister's son. Oh, right on. Yeah. Very cool. That's 3 generations, bro. Yeah. But it's on my mom. I was on my mom's side. So but anyway, first. So going back into the post office and that beautiful architecture, does everybody remember what their post office box was? I remember mine. Post office for sure. Which one was your box number? 434. Okay, mine was 2996. Yeah, nobody forgets those numbers, right? Another beautiful architecture of Panama was on the La Boca Road. 806. Remember, right past the Elks Club, there was this house. Yes. I mean, I photograph it every time I go there. Yes, I mean, wasn't it like a travel agency at one point? I think so, man. I think it was. But it's like it was a white house, and it was just really gorgeous. I photographed. I had a real nice balcony and everything on it, if I'm not mistaken. No, they had the stairs that went like that. It wrapped around them in the front. Right. Yes. Time for the number 2. Directly in front was the house where the Haynes lived, the lawyers, the Canal's own lawyers. Remember they had the big, long stairs going up to their house? Yes. Right off La Boca. Mr. Schrader and Mr. Haynes used to live in that house. Lisa Schrader's family. Remember that name rings a bell. But... Yeah, those were the elites. I think everybody who lived in Misty, everybody who lived in ¿cómo se llama? Babo Heights. Yes, Donnie Chadwick. I knew that families. Yeah. Yeah, they were
their parents were like the executives of the canal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the Morgans lived up there.
Morgans lived on the first house right up there. Morgans lived on the first house right when you made the turn in front of the admin.
Right.
That sweeping turn, they were on that house on that hill there.
Yeah, and it's still nice. Panama's kept that area pretty nice.
Yeah.
I think ACP owns all those houses anyway, so that's probably why they kept it really nice. The JWB, yeah, it was right. It was the building right before the JWB, but the JWB is also very beautiful architecture. Yeah, I was actually, long story. I was in Panama in April of 22. So Carla's in there getting her taxes done. And the JWB is where you go get your taxes. Right. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to walk around and take pictures. So I'm up there like a huevado looking up, taking pictures. And I stepped on a little gutter thing.
Right.
And the top was like there's rusted metal. Bro.
Ate shit.
Cut my leg and put a gash about that big, man.
And then you probably had a tetanus shot in 30 years.
Oh my God, I had to go. So I get rushed to the hospital, right? Guess who owns the hospital? Adolfo Tinker. Kid that we grew up with.
Yes.
Yeah, he owns the hospital.
Right on.
So I'm over here with my cut leg at this hospital, and here walks in Adolfo going, Ricky, you haven't changed, man. One big gash like that, bro.
World, man.
Bobo. Pero that was the JWB that I was photographing, because you're right, Coach. It's a beautiful beautiful architecture for sure. Yeah. And then Panama also had, because my dad kind of knew a lot of cool people down there, but they also had a lot of modern architecture in Panama that always caught my attention. Throughout the city, they had a lot of modern stuff that was
and it makes sense, because again, it was the crossroads of the world, so you had influence from the whole world coming in there.
True.
It made sense, and back then, especially where you unless you have access to those people through a canal and through trade, you don't get that information. But Panama had it. I mean, everything went through Panama. The whole world's commerce went through Panama.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the architecture there has maintained. I've been back in 21 and 22. I went there, and Panama. Let me tell you, like the first couple of days, I noticed like everything that was wrong, right? Because that's just the way we are. But by the third day, for some reason it disappears, and then the beauty of Panama pops out.
Right.
You start noticing the beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
And I swear they still do marvelous architecture in Panama.
Well, and especially the Spanish architecture. Thanks, Lynn. We'll see you next week.
Un amor, Lynn. Oh yeah,
but it's cool. It's good stuff, and it's amazing to me when you look at the amount of money and infrastructure that the zone that they put in there. Especially when you see those old pictures, like the first 10, 15 years of the zone. When they were
I've been collecting them. I've been collecting from
amazing,
Facebook.
What they did there. I mean, they went, and it wasn't organic. It was planned. Hey, we're going to build
urban planning. Yes.
Yeah.
But the military, they might have hired civilian architects for sure, but it was definitely through the military.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've people have been posting them on the different Canal Zone sites, and I download all that stuff, man.
For sure.
And then I've been saving them, and I'm going to one day just start unloading, all the architecture that I've been.
Well, you know what? We need to do a show one night on Canal Zone architecture.
For sure, I'll put all those pictures together and I'll forward them to you.
Yeah, we can throw them on
here. And anybody else can join in and show us their favorite, their favorite building or house because even like you said, the urban planning of the Canal Zone, like the whole El Prado, Balboa, that whole area. Right. I mean, that was all, planned out.
Everything about that.
It wasn't organic. It didn't grow
organic. That I found that I did that promo video today, and just from looking at it from above there, you kind of see how everything was laid out, in Gothel's Memorial. And I mean, all the everything, the parking lots, the roads, it was all purposely designed to fit everything in there.
That's why they call it a utopia.
Yeah, it was.
Because even like our football, our schools, everything, and including all that, throw in the best urban planning, ever.
Right, right, and it was very functional. Everything about it,
You know, for the time, Panama's done a pretty decent job of
well, and you think about it, they absolutely, and the U.S. had it set up. It was set up to run very efficiently, and who knows, maybe we don't know these things because we all grew up there as kids. Maybe some of our parents can jump on here on one of these shows and tell us, was the canal a well-run operation, and how did all that work?
Our parents, man, they lived the really golden years of the canal zone.
Right.
When it was plentiful and growing.
When it was good, when it was pure, and it was fun, it was safe, it was a community, it was all those things, man. Like I said, there's no way in today's world that any of us let our kids go somewhere and run around like that at 5, 6, 7 years old by yourself.
I don't think so. Because now we're the parents, we're grandparents.
No way.
We're the ones that are.
There you go,
William Phillips, architect of Balboa. So were the Mr. Grimison was also one of the architects.
So Dave, who is it? It was
Phillips. It's the main architect for all of Balboa. Got it, David.
So and David was saying there's a book out there. I saw it on Amazon. I think it's Edith Barkowitz that has a book. It's on Amazon.
Yeah,
and it's on the architecture of the canal zone. And I mentioned it. It's a little pricey, but it's a solid book. It's a big hardback book. But leafing through a little bit of it on Amazon, when you look at it, it is. You would certainly dig that book as an architect.
It
really is the plans for all those buildings and stuff. But really cool stuff. I wanted to have Edwin Armbruster on, and unfortunately he recently passed. And Connie,
I have his book. I got his book.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to have him on to talk to us about the book. I'll hopefully have Connie join us and
Connie set me up. I ran into her at the reunion on the where they sell all the stuff.
Yeah.
And she introduced me to him, and he knew my uncle, and he talked about him, and I asked him to sign me one of the books. I bought it,
very
signed
cool.
it. I have it.
Yeah, he was a good guy. They were my neighbors on Amador Road. Like I said, they lived 2 houses down from Ruthie, in Amador Road. They're back on the back.
Yeah.
Connie
has been hanging out with us since chiquitita también como Ruthie.
Yep. Yeah, those were good times back then.
That's why those chicks are tough, man, because they grew up with us boys, man.
Yeah. No, for sure, man. Those are my first memories of growing up and running around with kids, other than with the DeLucas in off of Barnaby, was there on Amador Road. With the Armbrusters and MacArthurs, and I think this was down the road a little bit, but Eddie Pearson had what's his name? He lived. Well, Steve Soriano lived on the corner there, right before the gate.
Berlusconi's also lived there.
Berlusconi lived right next door to me on the other side. Lilo Ramirez.
Yeah, Lilo, of course.
Coming off the exit of the bridge, that first house on the right there.
Yeah,
he lived on that one. I remember him and Steve Soriano. They were the first time that I ever got on a dirt bike. They're like, hey, don't tell your dad. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Just hang on.
You guys had down like behind your houses, you had like a little valley.
Yes, behind Lilo's house.
Behind Lilo's house. So that's where you guys would ride.
Yes.
We would ride behind. Remember Adam Mitz?
Yes.
Okay. So remember back there that where the tanks, they also had a little valley.
Correct.
We would ride our dirt bikes in there too.
That was on that road you went up by the police station.
Correct, on the side there.
The Paynes lived back there. Victor Payne, Louis Payne, all those guys lived back there.
The Bacas, Sadowski.
Yes, that's right.
And today, that's where El Capitan lives in that area.
Okay, and is that where he? Yeah. Okay, very cool.
He bought like 2 buildings there and converted both of them. Really nice job.
And those are the ones that like hotels like?
Yeah, he has it. He was promoting it for the reunion. I think the last year they had the reunion party at his house.
Yeah. I helped. I promoted it during the reunion
here for my brother. He has you can get rooms. Like if you go to the Canal Zone, if you go to Panama, you want to hang out in the Canal Zone. You stay at his spot. It's like a bed and breakfast.
Yeah, in fact, I had a promo. I don't have it available right now, but because I had put it up before for him during the reunion show. Yeah. See, I'm telling you, listen, we're going to do an architecture show. You and Dave come on and we can.
Oh, I'll bring Reynaldo too. I'll get Reynaldo on.
Right on.
My little brother's a doctor in architecture, but he doesn't tell anybody. But he's got a PhD in architecture. And I'm like, Reynaldo, use the freaking word Dr. Rayo. Oh, no, man. No. I don't want anybody. Huevo.
Papa, you worked for that.
Ronaldo's a doctor.
He earned that. He worked for you. Should absolutely use that.
He designs. He works on high rises and shit.
Wow.
Yeah, Ronaldo's badass, man. He's badass architect. Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for him. Good for him. Bueno, Papa, listen, it's a little past 10 o'clock, so we went over an hour. This was fun, man, as usual.
Appreciate it very much.
Always. I love having you on, man. I love reminiscing with you and going back to our stories here. So we kind of focused on Barnaby, Balboa, and a little bit of Amador, and then we kind of went in a couple different ways, but it was fun.
And the different age groups. We did the different age groups. The things we did when we were little kids, we were teenagers, when we were adults, 17-year-olds.
Adults, of course, man. Well, listen, my uncle sent me to buy beer when I was, 8, 9 years old, man. So, by 17, we're more than ready to buy beer, and even listen, working for Copa Airlines at the airport. Okay, obviously by now.
That's right. You worked there. Remember that?
Yes.
Really? Right on.
And we'd get off work at 6 o'clock, and the van would usually show up about 6:15, and so we'd buy low brows at the machine there, 50 cents. And so we'd go in and put our change in and get our beer and drink it there while waiting for the van to pick us up and go back home, man, every day. That was good stuff, man. So drinking was, it was second nature to us down there, man. That's why we
can drink a case of Panama beer and not even have a buzz, bro.
Right. That's why. Listen, if you had the type of reunions we have in Orlando with a bunch of Americans and with all that kind of drinking, you'd have so many people sloppy drunk and whatever else. With us, it's like it's all good.
Well, back in the day, not today. Ya, yo tengo 60 años, man, so my liver can't handle all that.
No, but before you get sloppy drunk, you pass out. You just go to sleep.
One shot of bourbon or something like that.
That's a couple shots, and then you're like, all right, man, I'm going to bed.
No, not go to bed, but
I'll see you guys at dinner. I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah. Drink water.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, Perrier con limoncito.
Yep, definitely. So speaking of the reunion, and then rumor has it that Ricky's going to be at the reunion this year. So fingers crossed.
It always depends on the scope of work. Well, where we are in the project.
We're working on that Balboa Rams reunion. Okay, so
I have my room. I got everything lined up. I'm staying with Elaine Peterson.
Yeah, so everybody pay attention to that and pay attention to the notifications for that.
I'm sure we're going to throw big parties because we got the big suite, the big terrace suite.
Oficial. We should
with
maybe
the
have
living
a
room, dining room,
reunion.
Kitchen,
we might even have to do a show from there for all the people that can't make it to the reunion. I have these two really big banners. They're about 10 feet long of this same backdrop, the whole bar scene there. But speaking of reunions and speaking of that, one last thing again. Remember, guys, get into the society. If you haven't joined,
man. We can't lose our reunion.
No, for sure, man. Renew your membership. Get that 5-year reunion. Listen, that's a great package. It's a very good price. It gets you for 5 years.
I have it. I did it.
It's well worth it, man. But this is what's keeping the Canal Zone, that story alive. So everybody, please get involved. Join the society. Renew. Volunteer at the reunions. Show up at the reunions as a registered guest and help out. Don't just freeload and jump on somebody's bed and couch, man. Be part of the Canal Zone thing that you enjoy so much, and give a little back. So just
like this show, man. I hope it gets big for you, Willie, man. And anytime you want me on, call me, bro, because I'm here.
Anytime. I always love having you on.
I go out Saturday nights. I don't go out Friday nights.
You don't like Friday nights, huh?
Well, Saturday nights, I don't know. The demographics. San Francisco's a young place. There's not my age group is not big here. We're the minority by far.
Right.
Young city.
Yeah. I just know Saturday nights people tend to start doing shit and go out and whatever.
Yeah, Saturday nights más tranquilo.
Pero
live music is real big here. We have great venues for live music.
I talked to George Call and I talked to Mark Ross about doing a rock and roll show, a music show, about the bands in the zone and who played in the zone.
I love to talk about
his dad played, Wolf was a freaking
Wolf.
right.
Yes,
that was
man.
badass. And Mark's in the
Legends.
music business now, into some capacity.
Oh,
so
I
he's
would
like,
love
I'd be
it.
happy to show. George would be happy to join. You know, he said he's got that band Aska out in Dallas. It's actually does really well. He's made that a career.
I grew up with a band called Viva. They were really good. Omega. Those guys
Paradise
were
was a
really
band when I grew up. And they had the catchy name Paradise, and it was pear like a pear and a pair of dice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was an iconic one. So it was there was a lot of there was some cool bands there that would who was it? Wasn't it Mikey Young and those guys? Didn't they have a band? So it would be cool to get some of those guys on and talk about, music and rock and roll.
Yeah, the bands that were the older guys were around when I was growing up. Those guys, Wolf was the really, really, really good band.
Yeah, they were like a Canal Zone band, definitely. Legend, that's right. Yes.
Legend. Yes, I remember Legend. Yes, I do remember Legend.
So if anybody's listening that has it, come and get in touch with these people. Let us know. I'd love to have them on. We could reminisce about.
Well, the guitar player for Legend was that blonde kid. I forgot his name. Lived up in Quarry Heights. He's a big time music guy in L.A.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Scott Lucky.
Yes.
Scott
okay.
Lucky.
So here's a funny story about that guy. All right. So when Eddie Van Halen died, okay, one of his iconic pictures was him with the cigarette, right? And then he had the cigarette on the guitar. And I made a comment one time. I was like, the irony of this guy. He died of lung cancer, and he's known by a lot of people because he was that cool smoker playing guitar. Dude, I've made that comment, and this guy got all bent out of shape and this, that, and the other. I can't believe you would say that. It's disgusting. I can't believe I even know you. Unfriend. I was like, what the fuck, man? Really?
I'm sorry.
But again.
Él es buena gente, man.
I'm sure he is, because him and I were friends for a long time on there, and I love the stuff he would post. He was a genuine musician, a music industry guy.
Yeah, he's up there. Like, Javier Cedeño, who I still am in touch with. Javier and him are in touch because Javier is also big in the music industry.
Well, tell him if you hear from him, tell him, hey man,
I'll get Javier. Javier was probably the best drummer. A lot of people will dispute that, but actually, there's a bunch of drummers that came from one drummer, and that one drummer was the drummer for his band called Omega, and he was this guy that lived in Clayton. Oh, he was super good. But then from him, this guy named Kelleher, and Javier Cedeño, us three, like
what about Jorge Blois played drums, didn't he?
He was really good. Yeah, he was like police good.
I remember we were at a party at Gary Klingen's house here in Brandon one time about 6-7 years ago, I think, and Jorge showed up, and next thing you know, and I guess Gary's friend across the street, a neighbor or something, had a band or something, and he goes, yeah, I got some drums. And Jorge's, oh man, I haven't played in a while, man. Fast forward, he's now playing with a band and shit. They're like, dude, you're on, man.
Jorge's got a different kind of talent. That guy, he listens to the song one time, boom.
Yes.
He knows exactly how to play the song.
Yes, he has an ear for music, man, big time.
Yeah, he breaks it down what they call measures. He knows how to break it down. He knows how to read music. That's why. So he knows how to break music down and poof.
But that does make for a good show, man. A music show would be fun. We could even go through the 70s and what was Billboard's top hits on this date and that date and all that. I mean, there's so much we could do with music. And truly music does, especially when you hear a song that you don't often hear. A lot of times when you hear that song, you instantly take you back to a memory when you maybe first heard it. And for me, a lot of those are, since I listen to mostly 80s music, 70s music, those memories all go back to the zone, man. And so it's cool to hear.
Playlist. I call it, Canal Zone music.
Yeah, for sure. Because every one of those has a Canal Zone story attached to it.
Yeah. Somehow, all the bands that were popular.
For sure, man. For sure.
Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. Good music, man.
Very good music. It was actually, there was a melody to it. There was real singing and everything. It was,
somebody had a comment about yesterday's music and today's music. They say yesterday's music, a song would be comprised of like 600 different words would make a song.
Okay.
Today's music does not like to 25 words make a song.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that. There's not a lot of creativity in it.
Yeah. And then they use Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, and they use, some guy,
And again, I keep saying
the
same thing. You hear 70s music still playing all over the place.
You know, I'll tell you what.
You don't hear 90s music. You don't hear 2000s music.
No,
and it's only been 10 years. Guarantee you won't hear that shit in 20 years.
You know, and the new generation plays the covers super good, man. They play.
But that shows you what they're playing.
You know,
they're playing covers of 70s and 80s music. Right.
And they play it so easily.
They do.
You know,
there's a video of a guy. There's a kid, and he's an adult now, but I followed him or watched his videos since he was like 3 years old. Avery something or other. He's a drummer. Look him up on YouTube. It is incredible. He does like Tom Sawyer. Unbelievable.
On Instagram, I follow them. I mean, I'm blown away. I play the drums, and I'm just like, damn,
right?
I suck ass.
It's
I can't play
cool
like these guys, man.
The talent out there is incredible.
But hey, you know, I play music just for the love of it, you know.
Yes.
For the love of it. Yeah, check it out. There's my drums right back there. I've been practicing.
Look at this guy. There you go.
They have the silent cymbals and the silent head, so I can play like that.
Put headphones on?
Yeah, headphones, but they're not electric. Cool. I tried the electric drums, but that shit sucked.
Doesn't sound genuine.
Well, it's because your hand mode when you play drums, you're doing this, right? Your hands are out here,
right?
In the cymbals, in the thumbs,
sure.
And so it's like a movement. When you're playing electric drums, really, you're just moving your wrist.
Okay.
So it's not the same. So
right.
If you get these silent, believe me, you hit them, nothing nada de bulla. And then and of course, no sound comes out either. But you have the earphone, but you're doing you're doing the motions.
That's cool.
That you would normally.
Speaking of music, and then we got to end this thing because we're running late. But there's a show also on YouTube called Beyond the Music. And I'll post a link to it, but it is fascinating. It's a group of guys here locally in Tampa that do it, but they break down a song. They use these Pro Tools program that isolates every keyboard, guitar, drum. It's really cool to listen to and watch, man. Because
I know. I see.
You suddenly listen, like they did one on "Still of the Night" by Whitesnake, and after that, I've never listened to the song the same. There's parts of that song that you never thought you heard, and when they broke it down, you're like, all of a sudden, when I hear that piece, I'm like, wow, I can hear it now. It's just really cool to watch, man. Beyond the Music, look it up, man. It's pretty awesome.
I'll check it out. I'm always on YouTube. I like YouTube. Yeah. What up, man? Let's cut.
Yes,
love you
Ricky,
guys. Thank you very
so much for sure. Everybody,
typical Panamanians. How many times have we said bye?
Finally, we just hang up and be done with it and walk away, right? So, but seriously,
I gotta go.
Next week, if you're available. No, we're good.
Okay, man.
Now, if I had to pay for this shit, then you better believe I'd be cutting that shit off right at 10 o'clock.
I hear you, man.
I'd be like, hey, Ricky, you wouldn't even see me off. That's it. Turn off. I wouldn't even say bye.
Corta.
Next week, though, again, if you want, 9 p.m.
Yeah, I'm on. Let me know.
Cool. All right, Donians, thank you so much, everybody. Talk to you guys next week. Have a great time. Any ideas, suggestions on a show, whatever you want to talk about, let us know. We'll talk about the Killer Caramundis, as Ralphie says there. So, anyway, thanks again, guys. Ricky, muchas gracias, papa. And we will talk to you guys next week. Take care, everybody. See you guys.